Here we are again, guys, for another time-lapse video. I'm going to cover how I do the sanding for the Bugatti wings. So if you notice, there's quite a bit of sanding to do. A lot of these little ridges need to be taken out, and it's fairly typical of hot wire cutting when you're just not a master like me. So most people are going to be doing this kind of intensive sanding. So what you basically do is you try to first take off the whiskers. That's like these little stringy things, and you just try to lightly brush them off, and make sure you're using some pretty high grit sandpaper, but I'm using 120 here in this video, and it works pretty well for me. So then you basically want to get rid of these ridges by going against the grain of them and try to flatten them out, and then you can blend it in lengthwise. And you can tell that through the video. It's pretty labor intensive process, but it is rewarding because you see the effects of it pretty quickly. Now I move from one panel to the next, and you can see that when I finish the second panel, I'm eventually going to go back to the first one. The reason being is you get so familiar with your work surface that you become blind to your imperfections. Here I am putting on more sandpaper. It happens. It rips and it gets worn out. You're doing a lot of sanding. But yeah, you come back to your work and you realize, oh, I missed that. How could I have been so blind? But in reality, it happens. You just get so involved with what you're doing, you just miss it. In this step, I'm taking my wood rasping file because the bow slipped out at a really bad time. So took the rasping file to really cut down that trailing edge, and then I blended it in with a metal file, and now you can see I'm starting to blend it in with the sanding block, and it turns out quite perfectly. It's pretty nice. But as you move along, you get to leading edge, and you try to sand off the whiskers at the root, and basically you're just trying to clean up the panel as best as you can. Sometimes you can use the beds, but sometimes your cut is just so poor you have to use a flat surface to sand on. So don't be afraid to take it off the bed, but as you can see throughout the video, if I do that, I'm wiping away the dust off of the work surface, and I'm making sure that things are clear so they don't press onto the foam and create a big divot that I then have to fill. So just do what you can to make things as smooth as possible. A little bit of sight, mostly it's touch. You're trying to just feel the surface with your hand, make sure it's smooth, running up and down the chord of the wing, and make sure that it's just going to be silky smooth, especially with this airplane where looks are going to be 50% of how well it performs. But it's a really fun process, and I hope you've enjoyed this video because I sure enjoy building airplanes and sharing with you guys how I do it.